Lord Owen, Europe's peace negotiator, arrived in Sarajevo, a city under siege for 9 months. He brought a clear message to the people of Bosnia.
Don't live under this dream that the West is going to come in and sort this problem out. Don't dream dreams. I took on the job fully knowing that all the key countries, the United States, the British, did not believe that this could be helped in any way by military action.
This perfectly suited the leaders of the Serbs in Bosnia. Their forces had taken control of 2/3 of the country.
Jer sam znao da je, recimo, međunarodnoj zajednici dovoljno 10.000 vojnika, 5.000 u Zvornik i 5.000 u Posavino koridor i Srbi su gotovi.
Srebrenica, danas moderan grad, jedna je od najstarijih naseobina u našoj zemlji. Nepregledne šume i obilje vodenih izvora privukli su ljude da ovdje osnuju svoja staništa.
In the first months of the war, Srebrenica had become a refuge for thousands of Muslims driven from their homes. The Bosnian Serb army laid siege to the town, attempting to starve its population into submission. In the spring of 1993, they began a final offensive.
J'ai eu le sentiment qu'il s'agissait de balayer la région et de la vider, en disant c'est fini maintenant, ces types-là nous ont fait trop de mal. On va pas les massacrer, on va les...
General Morion took personal command of a food convoy bound for Srebrenica. But the Serbs had no intention of letting him feed their enemy.
Donc j'ai tout fait à ce moment-là pour leur dire, vous me dites que vous voulez la paix, je veux bien vous croire, je vous crois sincère, montrez votre sincérité, laissez-moi aller là-bas.
The Serbs gave way. They told Morion he could enter Srebrenica, but without any relief supplies, and they showed him the route he must take.
Alors ils m'ont laissé partir sur cette piste, parce qu'ils savaient qu'elle était minée. Donc ils se sont dit, de toute façon, il ne passera pas.
We set off, and the good general, the good commander that he is, the ex-Foreign Legionnaire, all you could see was a cloud of diesel. And then there was a God Almighty bang, and the lead vehicle, the lead truck, had hit a mine. And I can remember, first of all, it reverberated around this valley.
C'était le seul qui était protégé contre les mines. C'est là qu'il faut voir un signe du destin, bien sûr. On y croit toujours quand on est dans ce métier.
When they reached the town, Morion and his aid workers came face to face with the results of ethnic cleansing.
C'était ininterrompu dans la nuit. Les gens marchaient en silence.
And it was cold. I mean, the temperature there was -20 in the evening. It was cold.
C'était incroyable comme spectacle de misère.
Morion immediately sought out the commander of the Muslim fighters defending the town.
Rekao sam, okolnosti nema koja bi mogla da utiče da mi napustimo Srebrenicu. Je nemoguće da mi napustimo tu Srebrenicu i nećemo nikad do posljednjeg čovjeka, dok bude živio i dok bude se kretao uda po ovim terenima, nećemo sigurno otići.
The Muslims welcomed the commander of all UN troops in Bosnia as an honored guest.
Combien de temps vous voulez rester? Aussi longtemps qu'il faut.
Having established the UN's right of access, Morion set off back to his headquarters in Sarajevo. A crowd gathered.
Some were thrusting letters into our hands, some were asking us to contact people, and then it was wind up the engine and move forward. And I remember with these things, they lurch. And it lurched.
Nećete za godinu otići, godinu dana ja sam iz moje kuće. Hvala Americi, ali može ona nama da pomogne davnih dana, ali neće niko. Nećete otići. Ne može, ne pobjeći će.
Whether we were hostages or whether we were prisoners, we were not free to move.
But the demonstration was not quite as spontaneous as it appeared.
Ali sam poslao šifriranu poruku Naseru da na svaki način zaustave da Morion ne napusti Srebrenicu sve dotle dok ne obezbedi sigurnost stanovništva u Srebrenici.
For 2 days, Morion was held in the post office. He had to escape.
So he said to me, have you got a flag? I said, yes. Got a UN flag? Yes. He said, I want a tannoy. Anyone got a tannoy? So a tannoy was produced. So the general was, oh, general with his, 40 Davidoff cigars a day type voice, and he booms into this tannoy.
I deliberately came here, and I have now decided to stay here in Srebrenica. You are now under the protection of the UN forces.
He decided to stay. Now, we all thought we were prisoners, but the general turned the tables, and they applauded.
Kad se sjetim tog trenutka, meni u ušima mojim odzvone njegove riječi, ne bojte se, ostajem sa vama.
But if this doesn't work, General, what do you think it will do to the people? Because they warm to your words.
It will work.
Morion's promise had changed UN policy.
Okay. Out! Attention pour les couleurs.
He had committed his neutral peacekeepers to the Muslim side at the very moment the Serbs were closing in. His masters in New York were taken aback.
General Morion took a lot of risks. I think some of the things he said, if they're replayed now, look a bit misleading in the heat of the moment and perhaps would be considered by some as being a bit over the top.
Morion's promise was quickly put to the test.
Good evening. The battle for Srebrenica tonight appears to be over. Only the terms of the surrender remain to be worked out. The Security Council is meeting as we go on air in an atmosphere of extraordinary confusion.
When you see when the massacres are occurring at such magnitude and the precedent that this sets for the rest of the world, our countries have a great moral authority to talk about these matters. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The leader of the UN's powerful non-aligned bloc introduced a resolution declaring Srebrenica a safe haven. This would oblige the UN to defend the town.
We reintroduced it after a tremendous conflict with the major powers, fundamentally with the UK, France and Russia.
There was never the slightest chance of the United Nations protecting Srebrenica. Deter attacks on, that's wording that is often used. Protect, no.
General Morion was putting them in a very uncomfortable situation in which they were for the first time being really involved into a confrontation with Belgrade and the Serbs, and they didn't want that.
The final wording sounded tough, but the Europeans had won. They deleted the term safe haven. Now, instead of defending the town against the Serbs, the UN merely asked the warring parties to treat it as a safe area.